Welcome back, everyone, to On the Road here in Oxford at Chocolaco Park. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, isn't it, Lauren?
It is. I love it. Christmas is my favorite time of year.
How can it not be everybody's favorite time of year? A little bit, anyway. I know a lot of people love the summer and they love the spring and all that, but Christmas is just a fun time of year, and they do it right here in Oxford at Chocolaco Park with Festival and Lights. It started actually on November 22nd, and they run all the way to December 24th on Christmas Eve. So $30 on the weekend for a car. So you can pile as many people as you want to in a car on the weekend, or during the week, Monday through Thursday, it's $25 a car. And then they've got all kind of stuff going on, Santa's Village and all that. But you've been here before. I've been here before. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is so nice. We've come and brought my little girl here. She absolutely loved it. They have like a faux ice skating rink. So it's not actual real ice.
Right.
So if you fall on it, it isn't as bad. I fell many times myself out there with her, but super fun. They also have different food.
I thought you were an athlete. Did you fall, really?
I was a cheerleader.
Okay, but you still, I thought.
Semi-graceful.
You shouldn't have told everybody you fell.
Semi-graceful.
Okay, there you go.
Semi-graceful. But yeah, they have all kinds of stuff. Food, which we're foodies. We love food. Tons of different things. Hot chocolate. And they also have like the big bouncy houses that they can slide down. All kinds of fun things. Definitely a place you want to bring your kids.
Come find Festival and Lights here at Chocolaco Park. Again, want to thank the Alabama Department of Transportation for allowing Lauren and I to go on the road all over the state here during football season to feature these great matchups. We got another great one. Oxford traveling to Parker for a great semifinal matchup here in 6A. Got to talk to both coaches. Just two great guys, two great programs, and gave you a little bit of Christmas festivities here in this show, and then had some great barbecue up in Jacksonville, Alabama. So this has been a unique show, kind of a semifinal special show for everybody. But again, the Alabama Department of Transportation wants to remind everybody, Lauren, to drive safe, put your phones down, buckle up, do all the things that you and I have been preaching for about 14 weeks.
Oh, for sure. And right now it's really crucial too. It's holiday season, so everybody can tell the roads get a little bit busier. You may be putting in your GPS addresses that you haven't gone to before. All of that's really good to keep in the forefront of your mind. Make sure you're careful. Everybody wants to get where they got to get for the holiday safely.
Yep, absolutely. And so we're not ending our show with football. As we roll into the holiday season, we'll be taking over with basketball and then into the spring sports. So Lauren and I are going to be going all over the state again. And again, we want to thank Faith. We got a new girl coming on board with us, and Maddie. We've already talked to Maddie a little bit. She's our intern coming in January. So we're excited about that. So we're going to have a lot more really fun on the road shows for you coming up into the new year.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I love both the girls that have joined our team. Just gives us a little bit of variety. We all have a little bit of our own personality and character style, so both of them just mesh with us so well, and it's exciting to start the new year with new sports and new people that are behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Absolutely. So, again, make sure you get out here to Festival and Lights in Oxford, Alabama at Chocolaco Park all the way up until Christmas Eve.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, which means you can't hold your mobile phone while you drive. And you can only use a single finger or swipe to answer a call. And you can't send or read a text message or watch or record video. It's a part of Alabama's Code of the Road, and knowing it helps you follow it. You can check out the law at drivesafealabama.org.
When we get home,
Right.
All right, I'm here with Coach Sam Adams at Oxford High School. Coach, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for letting us invade your territory here as you guys get ready for a big semifinal matchup against Parker. First of all, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just kind of talk about it. Let's start there. Navigating the schedule that you guys have navigated, and then the playoff run. Really tough teams that you guys have had to face. Sitting here undefeated, I know you still have business at hand, but just kind of talk about the season, how it kind of progressed?
It's been action-packed, to say the least. We set the schedule up to be a challenging one, non-region, in addition to the tough region that we play in. So this will be, coming up Friday, this will be the 11th playoff team that we've faced this year. And that's, that's by design. We want to expose our kids to many kind of athletes and different types of schematics that we can see and different environments that we can be a part of throughout the regular season, in hopes that we're playing our best this time of year. And up until now, it's looked like that's paid off for us.
Yeah, you guys have had some lopsided wins, but you've had some close ones. Kind of talk about that and how that prepares your team each week as you move along. You figure out ways to win football games.
Yeah, we've had, I think, 3 this year where we've had to come from behind a couple scores relatively late or early. We've been behind early too.
Right.
So, I think the reason why we've been able to do that is because of the veteran group that we have. A lot of these seniors, there's 19 of them. If you go back a few years and kind of know how this thing's played out, a lot of these guys were forced into action back in 2021 as freshmen, and that experience that was kind of rough at that time has really paid off now. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. I mean, they really have an unwavering belief in what we do here and why we do it and in each other. And they know if they just continue to go to work and do their job, that the guy next to them is going to do his as well. And if we're able to do that, then the score typically takes care of itself.
You talked about Britt, but talk about some of your other key guys. I know you said this is a senior-laden team, and the rough part about starting a bunch of freshmen and sophomores is that down the line, it's going to pay off in the veteran, and you guys have arrived at this moment. Talk about some of those leaders on this team.
Well, on the defensive side, Keenan is that way, but as a junior, he's still got another year to go. But the senior group, you got James Tapley and at inside linebacker, who's started for us in different spots over 4 years. He's just been a team guy. He still goes over and plays offense for us in certain situations. Des Whitson at outside backer, Ced Twyman at safety. And there's others too, that could be in that mix. But those are guys that are probably the most experienced out of that group. And on the offensive side, I mean, Mason Mims is the most recognizable name. This will be his 3rd year to start for us. He's able to do things on a Friday night that very few people can do at any level.
Let me stop you right there, Mason. Again, you don't often get a time to have a 3-year starter at any level. So when you have a guy that's been there and that's kind of weathered the storms, and that shows. And I say this all the time on our shows, there's no more important of a position in any sport than the quarterback, and you guys have a good one.
We do, and our style of play. We put a lot on him. I mean, he's making a decision virtually every single snap of the game. I mean, there's very few times in a game where he just catches the ball and hands it off for a straight run play. I mean, we're into the RPO kind of world, so he's deciding run pass, and he's elite at just understanding space on the field, understanding matchups on the field, and because of how much he studies the game, anticipating things before they happen. Now, all that being said, I mean, Parker poses a whole different set of challenges than we faced all year. But they've got a lot of good players. We got a lot of good players too. Mason understands that he's got a lot of weapons around him, and when he's really at his best, it's when he's being a great distributor of the football and just not getting caught with the ball in his hand, getting it out on time. We don't really say get it out quick. We say get it out on time to the guy that it's supposed to go to, whether that's in the run game or the pass game.
That's why we're here today. This is the game of the week as we come down the stretch before the Super 7 and in the semifinals. And Parker is a good team. You guys are a really good team. And there's going to be a lot of great players on both sides of the field on Friday night. And kind of talk about Parker a little bit. Like you said, you guys have faced some really good teams. You've knocked off the defending 6A champs and Clay Chalkville. But Parker, everybody kind of starred them before the season, and we heard the preseason just like you guys. You guys were right there at the top. I mean, you were hearing about Saraland. You were hearing about Oxford. You were hearing about Parker. You were hearing about Clay Chalkville, obviously being the defending champs. So and now you guys are the last two in this side of the bracket. Kind of talk about them a little bit.
Well, they, defensively, they're as star-studded of a group as I've ever coached against, in my entire career. A lot of focus gets put on Naeem Alford as a corner. He's one of the top defenders on the back end in the country, committed to Ohio State. They move him around a lot. He doesn't just play one side or one position. He'll play both sides at different times of the game. They'll move him inside and play him in like a nickel or a star kind of spot, whatever you want to call that. And he is super talented really in all three phases of the game. When they really got to have it, he's going to go over and play offense, and he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's great in the return game. And he really reminds me a lot of I coached on a team that had Marlon Humphrey on it back in 2012 at Hoover. And he just reminds me so much of him across the board. Yeah, athletically and just they move similarly and they have similar skill sets. He's definitely got a great chance to be a Sunday football player. Mm-hmm. And then you go start talking about their defensive line with the two D tackles.
Right.
It's
Jordan Crawford.
Yeah, and those guys. They're unbelievable. You got to really be smart about picking your spots on when and how to attack those guys. Because you can't double team them all on the defensive line.
Right,
we only got so many guys out there. So they're good against the run and the pass, and they move them around a lot. They don't just stay in one spot. So which presents a lot of challenges to you if you don't know exactly where they're going to be lined up. It's a credit to their coaches for doing that. And they have solid linebacker play. They've got the Merritt kid, the other DB's committed to Miami. There's just simply stars everywhere.
Right.
On the offensive side, they're really strong at every spot there too. They have the quarterback can run and throw. The running back that came in from Auburn Jordan, he's a really good player. He can break long ones on you, and he's got the toughness to kind of hammer out the ugly yards too. They got playmakers at receiver. It's really, we've got a.
What you expect to face?
It is. It's the semifinal. It's the semifinal. There's going to be.
They're saying the same thing about you guys.
True.
Too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. If you look, you start listing out the stars. They're definitely a little more star-studded than we are across the board. We've got to be able to prepare in a way that our whole is greater than the sum of our parts.
Right.
And that maybe our preparation puts us a little step faster than we're supposed to be and allows us to play a little bigger than we're supposed to be.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. Well, going to be a great football game. I know everybody's excited to watch this one statewide, and congratulations on a great season, and good luck to you guys on Friday night.
Thank you very much.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
And we are excited getting ready for the game of the week, the Class 6A semifinal between Parker and Oxford. Pleased to be joined now by Parker head coach Frank Warren. Frank, first of all, congratulations on getting to the semifinals. It's not easy to get to this point in the season, is it?
It's not at all. It's a blessing to be sitting in this position right now. The hard work we've been doing since the summer, the spring, summer, fall, winter workout. So it's been a blessing. It's been a good ride for me.
Is it an advantage, a disadvantage, or no factor at all that you did play Oxford in the playoffs last year? You knocked them out in the second round. Does that give you any edge or no?
I don't think so, because it's a different team and different year for both sides of the ball. Both teams. Oxford as well. Coach Adam does a great job. We actually, on a great quarterback they had. We played them last year, and it came down to the final minutes. So they probably had a little edge about themselves, but we do. We have some unfinished business. That's been our motto the whole year. So we look at this game as a different. It's a history maker. So we're going to be ready for it.
Now, obviously, you emphasized in the semifinals, you had a big win over Muscle Shoals, 35-10. You emphasized the ground game. You had Terrence Gaines, 12 carries, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Naeem offered 9 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns himself. And we know Naeem is also contributing on the other side, had 9 tackles, I think, an interception. Is that your focus? Does the ground game have to go for you guys to be successful?
Yeah, I think the ground game travels in the playoff in the cold weather. Great defense in the running game. I think Terrence Gaines is one of the best running backs in the state. He's been great for us the last couple of games, and I tell people all the time, Naeem is like a trump card. I always keep him in my back pocket. If I ever need him, he get me out of trouble, and I think he is the best player in the state, and I think that what he does, his numbers don't show a lot. I think he's one of the best players, and should be up for Mr. Football. He does a lot of things on the football field for us. He's a leader and a great team. So in chance of sparse, he does a great job for us in running game. So we do have a crew of running backs that can do things for us.
And Naeem, of course, is committed to Ohio State, highly ranked in any recruiting list you look at. We talk a lot about, in the college game, about Travis Hunter at Colorado being a Swiss Army knife. He does this, he does that, plays both sides of the ball. Not to compare players, but Naeem is that type of player that just gives you something wherever he is on the field.
You hit it on the head. I think he's that Travis Hunter type of kid. He loves football, and he don't want to come out the field. I just tell him, man, I got you. I'm going to put you back in. But that's what type of competitor he is, and him doing everything on the football, returning kicks, following the best receiver all night, and when you get in the red zone, he guaranteed a touchdown. So he does a lot of things for us, man. He's a specialty and a special talent, and those kids don't come too often.
Absolutely. Now, is that the key in a game like this? As you said, cold weather, we're getting that much closer to the championship game, that running game travels, the trenches travel, do they not?
Yeah, they do. I tell people all the time, our O-line and D-line practice against each other every day, and they see the best. And like you said, it's hard that ball get cold trying to throw it around a lot of times, but that run game is going to tell you how tough your team is.
So is that the key? To be solid, not turn the ball over, but be solid up front and win that battle up front?
It is. It shows you that when you drive down the field and nobody can stop you, it shows a lot who your team is. And then likewise, you can't stop anybody. That's a bad feeling. So we just built ourselves on being tough, and we do have a quarterback that can make the throws. Don't get me wrong, we do have weapons on our side, but at the end of the day, you got to run the football to win the game.
Well, everyone is looking forward to this matchup. Number 2 Parker, number 4 Oxford. It is the game of the week for a reason. We can't wait to see it. Parker coach Frank Warren, thank you so much for being with us, and good luck in the semifinals.
Thank you.
This holiday season, visit Festival of Lights in Oxford, Alabama, a dazzling drive-through holiday lights experience sponsored by First Bank of Alabama and the City of Oxford. Open November 22nd through December 24th. Get your tickets now at oxfordlights.com.
Okay, Lauren, you can see in the background behind me Mason's Barbecue, and everybody's probably going, why are they in Jacksonville, Alabama? We're in Calhoun County. We were just over in Oxford, and Oxford's taking on Parker at Parker, and the reason we jetted over to Oxford is because of the Festival of Lights, and it's about to be Christmas time, so we wanted to kind of highlight that for people that might be interested in something to do around Christmas. And then we were told, look, since you guys are over there, you got to jet up to one of the famous places in Calhoun County, which is right across the street, as people can see, from Amherst Stadium on the campus of Jacksonville State University is Mason's Barbecue. And the meal you and I just had, I know people get tired of hearing us say, man, that was awesome, this is the best. It really is every week. We haven't been to a bad place, and this one is unbelievable. I mean, if we had to end on one, why not here in a really good barbecue place?
I totally agree. And, when we went and walked in the first moment we got here, the place was packed, and children, or I say children, young adults here in college kids, they were in and out of there, and you could tell why. Like, Brett and I are sitting there looking at each other like, this place has got to be good, because these young adults are coming in left and right. We tasted the food. It was impeccable. Catfish like I've never had before. The catfish was amazing.
It really was one of the best pieces of catfish I've ever had, and I've had a bunch of it because I love to fish. And in catfish, you can mess catfish up. I mean, you really can, but that was some of the best. And Miss Jackie in there, she was telling us about the history and her great-grandmother teaching her their special sauce. That sauce is good on everything. It's good on the catfish. It's good on the sandwiches that we had. It's good with the fries. Very unique sauce. And again, now she's taught her son Gary how to do it. And so Mason's is a staple of Calhoun County. You don't want to miss out if you're over in this direction, and if you're within 30 to 40 miles, you'll want to make a trip over here to Mason's Barbecue.
No doubt. We were over at Oxford first, and we both looked on our GPS, and it was only 15 miles, so that's not very far. And look, I would drive 15 more miles just to eat that catfish and that barbecue that I just had. So if you're in the area, I'm going to piggyback right off of what Brett said. This is a must stop, and the people here inside, Miss Jackie, all the ladies in there were super nice, very good customer service, and that also goes a long way.
Right. So, I mean, it is on the road, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation. So we utilize the roads to get over here to Jacksonville to get to this great place, Mason's Barbecue. Again, right across the street from Jacksonville State University, who will be hosting the Conference USA championship game in a couple of weeks. They don't know who their opponent's going to be yet, because still some things to be decided this coming weekend, but they've already locked their place in the Conference USA championship game. So that's a little bit of extra tidbit that you get from us on this episode of On the Road. But come to Mason's Barbecue right across the street from Jacksonville State University.
We open this week's highlights with the AHSAA 2024 State Swimming and Diving Championships, which showcase several outstanding individuals and team performances. Huntsville High School senior and Auburn University signee Luke Bedsole once again was at the forefront, breaking 2 records, albeit his own marks established last year. He recorded a blazing time of 19.82 seconds in the Class 6A 7A 50-yard freestyle race to break his own record on Friday. He followed up on Saturday by eclipsing a 100-yard freestyle AHSAA state record. He set the previous record in 2023 as well. Bedsole also contributed to Huntsville's second-place finish in the 400-yard freestyle relay as the Panthers claimed the boys' Class 6A 7A state title for the 21st time in school history, another AHSAA swimming record. Abby Chan helped Bob Jones High School also claim its third girls Class 6A 7A state title in a row by winning the 100-yard butterfly with a time of 53.82 and aiding her team in winning the 400-yard freestyle relay and 200-yard medley relay. Isabel Park also played a key role in leading the Patriots. Alex Park from Lamp High School had a dominating performance in the Class 1A 5A division, winning the 200-yard individual medley and securing second in the 100-yard breaststroke. Scottsboro High School won their first championship in the 1A 5A boys classification, and Westminster Christian Academy took home the 1A 5A girls state championship to close out the 65th annual AHSAA state championships. For the last 20 years, the road to the Class 1A state championship has had to travel through Maplesville. Since 1984, the Red Devils have reached the semifinals 19 times. This Friday's matchup with Elba will be the semifinal trip number 20. Maplesville, which has reached the Super 7 state finals 6 times with 4 state championships, including 3 in a row from 2014 to 2016, turned a close 15-7 halftime score into a convincing 42-7 victory, scoring 4 touchdowns in the second half. Quarterback Pierce Jurgen passed for 145 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for another score. Colby Mitchell and Nehemiah McCrary also keyed the win for the Red Devils of Coach Brad Abbott. McCrary ran 124 yards and 2 touchdowns and had a key interception on defense. Maplesville's defense was relentless, allowing only 137 yards and forcing multiple turnovers, including fumble recoveries by Ty Bailey and Aiden Abbott. The Red Devils' adjustments at halftime paid off quickly thanks to Jurgen's pass completions to Jacoby Nix and Devarian Clark. Luke Gray anchored the defensive efforts with 7 tackles while Vaughn Woods added a sack. A late touchdown run by Jay Legrone sealed the victory and Maplesville's 20th trip to the semis. We check out the 2 South Class 5A quarterfinal games next, starting with powerful Viger hosting UMS Wright. The Wolves, coached by John McKenzie, captured a 41-10 victory over UMS Wright in the Battle of Region 1 rivals at Pritchard Memorial Stadium. Viger set the tone early with a trick play touchdown, a 62-yard pass from Jamarian Osborne to quarterback Dylan Jackson that gave the Wolves the momentum. Running back Carlos Benjamin added 2 touchdowns and 116 yards rushing, and Aslan Jones scored on a pivotal 46-yard interception for Viger's mighty defense, which has allowed just 62 points all season. UMS Wright, coached by Terry Curtis, managed 9 rushing yards and 143 total yards. Viger sacked the Bulldogs quarterback 5 times. Key sequences including a 4th down sack leading to Viger's trick play touchdown and Jones's 3rd quarter interception return. The Wolves traveled to Montgomery this week to meet unbeaten Montgomery Catholic in the semifinals. Montgomery Catholic met Central of Clay County at Faulkner University's John Mark Stallings Field in the other Class 5A South quarterfinal game Friday night. The Knights of Coach Kirk Johnson pulled out a tough 21-9 victory over previously undefeated Central of Clay County, coached by the HSAA all-time wins leader Danny Horn. The Knights, leading 7-3 at intermission, found its strong running game in the second half to seal Catholic's 27th straight win. Safety Joe Pierce took center stage, rushing 16 times for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Catholic got its only first-half TD on a spectacular 19-yard touchdown catch by B.J. Bedgood. Catholic's defense produced the game's biggest play, however, stopping the Volunteers on a 4th down run at the 1-yard line in the second half. Catholic took that momentum and marched 99 yards for the game-clinching touchdown by Pierce, who powered into the end zone on a 10-yard run to cap the drive. He added another score to give the Knights a 21-3 lead. Central's lone touchdown came late in the 4th quarter. Catholic advanced to the semifinals in the 5th consecutive year and will host Viger on Friday. Piedmont High School, coached by Jonathan Miller, pulled out a dramatic 30-28 win over Fife in the Class 3A state playoffs, with the game coming down to the Bulldogs having one more defensive stop than the visiting Red Devils. Piedmont's Cale Austin tackled Fife's Simon Hicks in the backfield on an overtime 2-point try by the Red Devils of Coach Paul Benefield to preserve the victory. The game was tied 22-all at the end of regulation. Piedmont scored first on a 1-yard run by Will Gunn and a successful 2-point pass from Coleman Wilson to Brody Holmesley. Fife responded with a touchdown run by Ryder Gibson, but the Bulldogs defense held firm on a decisive conversion attempt, with Austin making the final stop. Wilson led Piedmont's offense for 359 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Receiver Rolly Pinto had 15 catches for 148 yards and 1 TD, and Ishmael Bethel had 11 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown. Piedmont built a 22-8 lead in the 3rd quarter before Fife rallied behind Gibson, who rushed for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. Despite Fife's strong ground game and time of possession advantage, Piedmont's defense delivered crucial stops, including a 4th down stand late in regulation and a game-winning play in overtime. Piedmont will be making its 9th semifinal appearance in 10 years this week, traveling to Florence to face Mars Hill Bible, a 28-13 winner over Winfield last week. Unbeaten Oxford, coached by Sam Adams, edged Fort Payne 28-26 in the Class 6A quarterfinals, thanks in big part to the senior passing tandem of quarterback Mason Mims and receiver Jalen Taylor. The duo connected for 4 touchdown passes. Adams called his senior QB and receiver a matchup nightmare for opponents. Taylor, a Louisville commit, finished with 174 rushing yards and TD receptions covering 17, 19, 33, and 34 yards. The final TD in the 4th quarter sealed the 2-point win over upset-minded Fort Payne. Mims finished with 299 passing yards, proving a strong connection with Taylor. The visiting Wildcats, who won their first 2 playoff games 24-23 and 35-32, fought valiantly, with senior quarterback Dax Varnamore contributing 2 rushing touchdowns and a 27-yard scoring pass to Connor Kinsley late in the game. Kicker Connor Hughes added 2 field goals, including a 45-yarder. Oxford advances to the semifinals this week to take on Parker at Birmingham, with a Class 6A Super 7 berth awaiting the victor. We close this week's highlights with Thompson High School's 31-7 victory over Enterprise in the Class 7A semifinals. The victory sends the Warriors of Coach Mark Freeman to the Super 7 finals at Birmingham's Protective Stadium December 4th for a rematch in the championship game with Central Phoenix City. The Red Devils beat Hoover 17-7 in the other 7A semifinal game. The Warriors, which suffered all 3 of their losses this season in overtime games, combined a strong ground game and timely passing from quarterback Trent Seaborn to seal the win over Enterprise. Seaborn, a sophomore, completed 16 of 23 passes for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, both to Darian Mosley, who led the receiving corps with 8 catches for 106 yards. The running duo of Michael Dewan and R.J. Evans combined for 129 rushing yards and a score, while the defense continued its stellar play. Jared Smith's fumble recovery for a touchdown highlighted Thompson's defensive effort, which limited the Wildcats to just 46 passing yards. Enterprise's lone score came on Eric Winter's 99-yard kickoff return. With this win, Thompson ties the record for consecutive Big School championship game appearances at 7.